Okay, Sammy, in your background as a chef, what was your journey to your particular niche and ownership of Flock and Forage, and how did you build your business and reputation?
I started my journey with a deep appreciation for food. I started as a sushi chef and then became a private chef, and then started working at Green City Farmers Market. I was very much drawn to the farm to table cooking because it felt like a way to preserve that connection while supporting sustainable and local agriculture. Flock and Forage grew out of a desire to create more than just a place to eat at the farmers market. I wanted a space that honored the farmers and artisans and to just highlight things that are grown in our region in the Midwest. So I built this business after working for this farm for 8 years, and I in between them was doing pop-up dinners and would do collaborations with other people in the community. I did hands-on classes with like pasta and sushi. And then a lot of it just became word of mouth. And then I decided to open a booth at Green City, and they allowed me in, and that was that.
Great.
And now you're brought up to date.
Now, how did you get involved in community dining as part of the pop-up process?
And
How did you
that's it.
connect to Paul and community dining, though? That's what I was
Oh,
asking.
Paul. We met at a networking event, and I'm not sure. I don't even remember what it was,
Uh-huh.
but it was a networking event, and then we did a lunch together, and have been doing them almost every month since. So I think it's been about a year.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So, great chefness is always about creativity and ingredient experimentation. What challenges do you enjoy when dealing with a pop-up dinner or other unique event which requires creative use of ingredients and presentation?
The pop-up dinners are kind of my creative playground, as well as the farmers market. The constraints are definitely like a season availability,
Hmm.
venue limitations, and the weather at the market for sure. So it forces me to think differently of what to cook and how to cook. I love using local ingredients, and I kind of asked myself, like, how do I let this speak to itself? And how do I make this surprising? So I have this dish at the farmers market, the brown butter radish toast. That it's simple and it's beautiful, and it's a lot of people think that they don't like radishes, and I get the same reaction every time. They're so surprised by how much they enjoyed the dish. So and presentation becomes a big part of like storytelling on a dish, right? So even at these events, like the plates are kind of like a canvas, and the whole experience and guest interaction. Just I love that, and it's such a fun challenge to find the like harmony and balance of all of it. So
Great. So, the world of chefness is one, I don't even know if that's a term. The world
it might be.
The world of chefness is one of the more diverse occupations in the employment landscape. What impresses you about this fact, and how has it made your life richer?
uh, what impresses me about this is how like just how the food transcends boundaries in the kitchen. We meet people with entirely different backgrounds and languages and cultures, and sometimes and somehow like we all speak the same language. It's food, and that's incredibly humbling. And the diversity has made me definitely more open-minded and curious about like food and other cultures, and it makes you compassionate. Every dish that I try to serve at Flock and Forage is inspired by somebody. It's a local farmer or a small business, somebody like that I've known from a childhood, or even like fellow chefs that are friends of mine. So that the mix of the perspective is what makes food and I guess life so rich.
There you go. Nice, beautiful. So,
Thanks.
relating to diversity, it always struck me how in families during my childhood, a long time ago, it was pretty much the women who got meals on the table, but the top chefs, especially in the early days of celebrity chefs, were generally men. How is that gap closed, and did you ever feel that gap in your career?
Definitely felt that gap early on when I was working as a sushi chef. I was one of the very few women that were in that kitchen, and especially in like any type of leadership. So there was definitely like this unspoken pressure of like, was I tough enough and could I handle it and keep up? But you know that this industry is definitely challenging and it's changing. And I think that more women are taking the reins and telling their culinary stories and redefining leadership for sure in food. Like you think about Mindy from Mindy's Bakery, or is it Mindy's Bakery, Cafe? But like she's just such a powerhouse and like so inspiring and
Hmm,
like it's not just about being like at the top. It's about like being a mentor and that sustainability and that balance. So I hope Flock and Forge can be a space that nurtures the next generations of chefs, regardless of what the gender is.
excellent. And finally, a cliche question, but indicative of interest and personality. What three people, living or dead, would you like to serve at a pop up dinner? What would you serve? And if you were the fourth diner, what would you like to talk about?
Okay, so three people, Anthony Bourdain, the late and great Anthony Bourdain,
Yes.
Maddie Matheson, and you know, I think Dolly Parton would be fun to have at a dinner table. Uh, and I would keep it simple. I think I'd cook comfort food, things that we know, things, simple ingredients, things that again are from our childhood that are nostalgic, but you know, that come from local ingredients, simple things. So, and if I was sitting there, I'd want to listen. I wouldn't talk too much. I just want to know you know, their best days and what got them through that and what got them through their worst days and what motivates them. And yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.